later as well. So thanks for listening.
Thank you, Desmond. This is an amazing demo, by the way. Great to deploy it.
Are there any questions in the room about what we've shown from internal to embedded to the marketing app?
I didn't hear you, sorry, David.
Are there any questions about what we just... Yeah.
Any questions? No, I think we are good, David. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So just, yeah, as Des mentioned, like the Pegasus team has their contact details, so we'll be happy to take you through a more detailed demo after as a follow-up. It's really like in terms of time saving for the data team, as I mentioned this morning, plus as Des showed you, plus also the fact of potentially the embedded part of things. Lots of our customers are using it now to generate a new revenue stream, because as Des showed you, you can provide premium analytics to your end customers, and basically there's a value that you guys can charge for it.
Just a quick question, David. Can you embed HTML, or it's only iframe?
No, it's actually not only iframe. So with the API, we can do fully custom pages. So this is actually an example of a fully custom page we've done with Looker. And if I click Show Sources, you'll see in purple here some parts are coming from our API. So right the way through in the application development lifecycle, we can be there for custom web pages and also fully fledged dashboard pages like the other one we were looking at too. So we're happy to work in either mode.
Good. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Just guys, again, that was an amazing demo, by the way. I have listened or watched for too many demos for Looker. This one actually caught my attention, covered everything actually. So thank you, by the way.
Thank you. You're more than welcome.
Just let us know when you want to get started for the second session.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thanks.
Perfect. Bye, guys.
Business applications that you could build, that we have built with Looker. So if there's any questions, please stop me or put them on the chat of the Zoom and you can go through it at the end. So the idea, what you got on the screen there is your own page for Looker. So the demonstration I'm going to do for you is going to go around 3 different main items of Looker. The first one is the browse, where basically you can just go and search in terms of Looker, in terms of the platform, the reports, the dashboards. The second one is explore, where you see there's an architecture you can put in place by team, by business units, by type of analytics you want to look into. The develop part is where basically the tech team will have interactions with Looker, where they're going to go into the modeling layer to define the KPIs, define the relationship between the data, and so on. So to get started on the dashboard, let's get on that one. So you see here, what you see first is that Looker is device agnostic. So technically, you could actually have access to the data within any devices, tablets, smartphone, your laptop. It's HTML5 and 100% web-based. What you've got here is obviously different type of visualization that you can have. One key thing especially for some of you who attended the Snowflake session before, it's Looker is connected directly to the database. So that means that as a business user, I can interact directly on the database and ask the questions automatically and get live data from the platform. So here, by clicking on that number, I'm going to get access to the raw level details of the data. And as you see here, I've got other ideas processing. It's an e-commerce demo, but think of it as any potential use cases you have in mind. And you've got here different type of actions you could take from Looker directly. The first one would be if you want to interact internally with different teams. The example could be for a customer success team who wants to be alerted every time there's an issue to be raised through an account, an order, or anything. You could automatically just generate a Slack message to the team. The other aspect to it is, as we said earlier, Looker it's more like a data platform where you can take data actions. And as you can see here, the example of the integration with SendGrid, you could potentially send an email to your end customers for loyalty, for any update on orders, anything like this. The other part of it is, which is pretty interesting, is Looker, it's all about the scalability and helping you to grow quickly without having to redo everything every time. And the example here, I can get a 360 view of a customer, a user. Just Looker will pass on the filter, which is the email address of that specific user, and then I will get all the information I'm looking for about the specific user. The good thing about it is you don't need to rebuild that dashboard every time. You build it once, and automatically the filter will apply and bring you the information based on that specific user. The other part of Looker you can look at here is potentially, you can obviously, what's important, trigger real-time alerting. So you get the example here, if the average sales price is greater or is lower than a specific value that you have defined, you want to be alerted straight away and not wait the next day to have that report in your inbox where the data is already stale. So by this action, you can directly get an alert either by email, by text message, by push notifications, whichever you can think of, you can put it in place. So once I'm in there, as a business user, what I would like to do is maybe ask more questions to that data. And from here, we're going to move on to the explore layer of Looker, which is where basically the business users without any technical knowledge can go and create their own reports, create their own dashboards. So what you've got here on the left, let's put it as a data dictionary. So that's all the dimensions and measures that the data team made available for the business users. So the example here, for example, if we clear a field, we can just go and create our own ones. So order items, for example, the date was processed, that to process the orders. I can get on a gross margin as well. Just have to click, it's going to automatically come and update, and we can take the average day to process. And what basically Looker has been doing in the backend, it's automatically generating the SQL queries on behalf of the end users. So see, if yourself were to try to create that SQL query manually, or having to update it every time, that's just a lot of time. So Looker does it for you, then you can just run it and get the results straight away. So here the example is a table. So you've got all the different gross margin, you can drill down obviously, you can just filter on a specific one. And from there, once I'm happy with the results, I can decide to save it as a report, save it to a specific dashboard, and make that dashboard available to my colleagues or to the teams who are going to be using over the time. You can also obviously download the results, can send a schedule. So it's pretty good. Like you can decide that automatically you want to send that report through a third-party application. The example could be on a marketing use case, you could pre-build a list of users or customers that you want to target through your marketing automation tool and push that list automatically to, for example, a marketer The example here for text messaging could be with Twilio. And the other use case that we have with a lot of our customers is they use the Google AdWords connector. That means that they define a threshold on a specific AdWords campaign, and if that threshold, if that campaign is not performing well enough, Looker can automatically trigger an alert to AdWords to ask them to stop the campaign. So you stop wasting money on campaigns that are not working. So now you got this done. Like what we can look into, all that you have here, it's something which is built obviously by the data team and working with the business users to understand exactly what you guys are looking for when you're looking for dashboards and reports. But the idea is to look at maybe how we get that built, how we get that defined into the platform. So if we go into LookML, so to remind you, LookML is our modeling layer. That's what's going to provide you that data governance, that single source of truth, because that's where you're going to define your KPIs, your metrics. And the way it looks is basically here in the backend for the dev team. You have two different aspects. The first one is what we call a model. So that's where you're going to define the joins between the different tables of your database that you want to work on and get the analytics from. And the views here, it's pretty much all the tables from your database. So from there, as you can see, a dimension is a column of your database, and Looker scans automatically your data warehouse and created automatically these dimensions, which basically going to appear here and be available for your business users. The definitions of it, as you can see, is code. It's code related, so it's SQL based. As long as you understand SQL and English, like you can see by yourself here, the dimension ID is the primary key. It's coming from the table inventory items, and you can then define specific actions to basically automatically send it to a Slack channel, have a drill down capabilities being put in place. And when you look at this, the one important part of the business value of Looker for the modeling layer is, let's take an example of you have maybe 200 reports where you use a specific KPI. And maybe because your business is growing, maybe because there's new VAT being brought on, there's new taxes, you need to change the definition of that KPI. If you change it here in the modeling layer, it's automatically going to go and update all the reports and dashboards where you used that KPI before. That means you don't have to go back manually to each of one of them, manage versions, and go manually and just do the work on this. As you see, it's really SQL based. It's going to be connected to your Snowflake, for example. It's going to be speaking the Snowflake dialect automatically. The other part I wanted to show you was in terms of getting the proper support from Looker. So, having worked in lots of different SaaS companies before, the issue with customer support was getting a ticket logged, waiting potentially 48 hours for people to even look at your ticket. And by the time they were actually responding to you, it was too late. And you didn't answer straight away. What Looker has put in place, it's an in-app chat support. So that means we've got a team of data analysts based in different offices who have a response time of 30 seconds to help you and ask any questions you have about the modeling layer, about specific dashboards, specific visualization, and so on. Now, from that specific internal use case, let's move on to what Looker could look like if you were to embed it into your platform. So the example I've got here, like it could be any of your platform, any of your applications that you're providing to your end customers. So they will log in with their user credentials. There's no need for them to log twice. Looker will automatically recognize that specific user and will automatically display the data linked to that user. So the example here is like it's Fashionly, which is an e-commerce platform that wanted to embed Looker and provide to their end users or their suppliers analytics. So what you can see here on the sources, anything which is in the green rectangle, it's basically coming directly from Looker through an iframe. And because we're connected directly to the database, and the performances of Looker are linked to the performances of your database, so the example of Snowflake and Looker, the strength and the power of these two tools together can really bring live data to your end users if it's something you're looking for. Again, you're giving your end users the capabilities to drill down and ask more questions to the data. And obviously, you can make it look and feel like if it was your own tool. And from there, they can obviously still download, schedule, send, create alerts, and so on. The other approach you can have is using it through the Looker API. So the example here, it's the same. Like if you show sources, anything from the green rectangle is coming from Looker, but the filters that you have here are coming directly from your application. So by clicking on Facebook, it's automatically going to update the Looker data, and it's seamless for your end users. Once you're there, it's the first level of analytics you could provide to your customers. We've got today about 40% of our customers who see it as a value to drive even more adoptions to your platform, but also having a chance to maybe generate a new revenue stream. Because you provide, let's take the example, you provide them a type of analytics for free as part of the service you provide them. But you might have some customers who want to have more advanced capabilities in terms of analytics. So you could provide them, for example, a report selector where you can have a pre-built category library of reports and dashboards that you make available to them. But also, if we go back to ad hoc analysis, that's getting us back to the explore layer of Looker that I just showed you a few minutes ago. And again, that's basically allowing your end users to ask and answer their own questions without having to go back to your customer success team, data team constantly. And what they see here, it's only what you decide to make available for them. So from there, they can just go and change the visualization the way they want. And once they're happy with that, they can obviously go create their own dashboard, download, send, schedule, and so on. So that's an approach. I want to show you an example of a customer who's been doing it in terms of providing end user embedded solution to their customers. So see Happy Insights, everything you see here on their website, it's coming from Looker. And that's something that they provide as a premium solution to their end customers, and allowing the business users to basically go and do their own analytics without having to go back to Happy Insights teams constantly. Now, the third part to show you what, as I mentioned, you get the internal usage of Looker for marketing, finance, engineering, product, any kind of team you can think of. External usage, as I just showed you. And what we've seen and what the market has been, the customers have been requesting over the last few years is to have pre-built business applications. So again, that's an example of an embedded solution made by Looker in terms of the digital marketing. So the example here, it's customers will look into this for teams just getting onboarded who don't want to spend the time of building reports, dashboards, but they want to have something ready straight away for them. And the example is of digital marketing, where I can go on my overview for Google ad campaigns. Gives me all the conversion, all the spend to date, the trends. And again, they're still able to drill down on the data if they want to. If we go back to this one, to be like on campaigns optimization for Facebook. So like that's what Looker brings, like all that flexibility and that customization you can think of. Again, as you can see here, the different tabs that we have bring different type of insights to the business users. You can make available the type of filters you wish to them. And from there, they can obviously make decisions to carry on with a specific campaign or to stop that campaign if it's not performing the way they want. So it's really like that flexibility that we offer and that scalability that's going to allow you to gain time, save time on the engineering team. We still see companies who try to build from scratch a BI tool, an embedded solution. That's a lot of time and investment when you have platforms like Looker already pre-built, and embedding Looker into your platform, it's about an hour because we already have all the scripts pre-built, and then you can straight away put it in place and launch it to your customers. So that's what I wanted to cover with you. Are there any questions on what I've shown you so far?
No, I think we are good here, David. And thank you for this nice demo. We covered a lot of area here.
Okay. Like as we said before, the Pegasus team have our contact details. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll be happy to get into a more detailed demonstration for you based on your specific use cases.
Sure, David. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.